Welcome back, everybody. For Inquiring Minds, that's actually the very same shot that I took about 4 years ago that I now have as the cover photo for this YouTube channel. So there it is. I love that juxtaposition. You've got nature, you've got a mangrove, a red mangrove, kind of superimposed across the Miami skyline, and you don't see that very often. And that's honestly, it's one of my favorite spots in all of South Florida. But today we are going to be exploring Virginia Keys mangrove canals. Again, this is an area very seldomly seen by people. It's not easy to get to. You can't really bring a boat in here with any sort of draft because it'll get grounded immediately. The seafloor is maybe 1.5 to 2 feet below the surface. But I'm really looking forward to showing you how cool this area is and the importance that it plays as a rookery, as well as habitat for fish and many other marine animals. Got quite a few birds nesting here. You can always tell when they're around because they leave these look like just white or gray streaks on the leaves of the trees where they're hanging out. That's their droppings. But over here we've got what appears to be great white heron, and yeah, mostly great white heron over there, taking off. There was some ibis hanging around. There's an egret up there. You see brown pelicans, all manner of different life here. Coming up on the first few branches, kind of blocking the way. Let's see if I can make it through here without having to use the smaller paddle. Nope, smaller paddle it is. Let's put this big guy away. When you get into these kind of canals, it becomes damn near impossible to paddle around with a double kayak, or excuse me, with a double paddle. So that's why I carry this little dude. That, and in case I lose the big paddle and I need a way to get home. I did not plan this out very well. In a cinch, if you find yourself in this kind of situation, you'd always break apart your double paddle and use one side. But this right here is the reason why a lot of people haven't seen this part of South Florida, because it's so damn hard to get in here and you have to know where you're going. And the only way really figure that out is just to blindly go forward and see what you find. Hey, mangrove crab. Oh, there's some big fish down there. These areas, these mangrove canals, serve as very, very important nurseries for a ton of different fish. It's relatively safe, relatively quiet. A smaller fish can hide in the red mangrove roots. Just a perfect habitat for them. Coming up on the exit. This is always tricky. Always tricky. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a crab in the boat. Yeah, it's a big guy. Come on, now let's get. Oh, there are crabs everywhere. Look at how big these guys are. Wow. Huge. And their natural instinct is to fall into the water when they're startled. So of course, they fall into my kayak. Almost there. So, the tides can be your friend and your enemy in this scenario, because the higher tide allows you to navigate over these roots and these obstacles, but at the same time, it gets you trapped in the actual branches of the red mangrove. But we're out. Yes, out into the actual canal. Like I said earlier, most of Virginia Key was not here 100 years ago. Most of it is actually landfill. But if you go all the way down, well, that's a big spider. If you go all the way down this canal, you'll get to what's essentially the only remaining grove of red mangroves that has been here since the beginning. The way you can tell that apart from the newer stuff is that obviously you have bigger trees, bigger trunks, but they're also spaced farther apart than you find in other areas in Key Biscayne, or excuse me, Virginia Key. And I've actually been back here hiking or swamping. It's not easy to get through, believe you me. If you've seen my other videos on mangroves, you can tell how difficult it is to get over or through those mangrove roots. Yay! Whoa, it's big! This is a closed system, meaning that it only has one opening out into the ocean. And as a result, the farther and deeper that you get into the canal, the more anaerobic the water becomes. So that means the less oxygen it has. And you'll see less and less fish and larger wildlife back here. And now, oh, that was another crab. Just gotta get through this next part. There we go. You know, something tells me that maybe 10 years, that's going to be about impassable, because these mangroves just creep farther and farther into the canal. I've seen it in many other instances where canals have become completely overgrown in the span of a decade or so, that were wide open earlier. We have now reached the end of the canal and the end of our journey. We're basically smack in the middle of Virginia Key. This takes you right into the heart of the island, and the road is maybe 50 meters due east. But I'm glad I got to show everybody this amazing habitat, because so few people really get to see it. And I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another episode later. Bye. Holy crap, that's a manatee! Holy crap, that's a manatee! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Sorry, I know I got really excited there, but manatees are freaking awesome. I don't want to spook it. It's right below me. That is amazing. That's why I love this place. Just when you think the episode's over, you come across a manatee. That's amazing. And here it comes. Beautiful. It looks like a juvenile from the size of it. It's also probably been hit by a boat propeller. A lot of these manatees, especially the bigger ones, they've got all sorts of nasty scars on the tops of their bodies and on their fins, or whole chunks missing from them. But yeah, they're beautiful. They used to be all over South Florida. They became endangered because of, well, asshole boaters and habitat loss, and they were also hunted. They've actually made a pretty good comeback as of late, although they're still nowhere near where they need to be as a species. And on that note, now the episode is over. See you guys.